Today we're reviewing the mini LED TV Hisense U8N. Hi, welcome to Zgadgetreview. The Hisense U8N is a 4K mini LED TV with backlighting and quantum dot technology. The sizes for this TV range between 55 to 85 inches. The TV that we're reviewing today is 65 inches. The model of this TV is a Hisense 65 U8N. The TV build quality is nice. It feels sturdy. It does not feel cheap, even though the whole TV is made out of plastic. And here's what the TV sounds like. This year's model has a new chipset, which is the Hisense Engine Pro, which also, of course, like everything nowadays, uses AI to help enhance the image on the TV. This TV promises better contrast and even more brightness. Let's do a quick tour of the hardware. The Hisense U8N has 4 HDMI ports. They're clearly labeled so you won't be confused about what each port does and what kind of features it supports. HDMI ports 3 and 4 support HDMI 2.1 features and 4K at 144 Hz for gaming, meaning that if you are going to use a console or a PC, ports 3 and 4 will be the ports where you will want to plug those devices into. Ports 1 and 2 support 4K at 60 Hz. Port 1 supports eARC. The TV also has 2 USB ports, a LAN port, a digital audio port, a headphone port. As you can see here, it has every single port that you can hope for a TV like this to have. The TV comes packed with tons of features. In the image department, this TV supports HDR10, HDR10+, Dolby Vision, and HLG. The TV also supports AMD FreeSync Premium Pro and variable refresh rates. This specific model retails for $897.99 on Amazon and $899.99 at Best Buy. I am shooting this video on November 23rd to give you an idea of what the pricing is right now. The TV uses Google TV as its smart TV platform. Google TV is actually very smooth, very responsive on this TV. I will say between all the smart TV platforms that I see out there, WebOS, I'm going to say it over and over again, is the best one in the market, even though LG has started to ruin what WebOS used to be. I will say Google TV comes second, Amazon Fire TV third, Roku I will give it a fourth place, and Vizio, if anybody's still buying Vizio TVs out there, I will put it at dead last. Now, Google TV, of course, can be linked to your Google account. So if you use YouTube and any other Google products, you can put your account there, like your Android account, and it will pull information from those sources. At the very bottom of the TV, it is very hard to see and it is not really well advertised, but the bottom of the TV has a little box, as you can see there. This little box has microphones because this TV can actually hear you speak. If you call the Google command, the TV will wake up and listen to your command, so you can control it via voice. Now, if you don't want the microphone to be on, there's a little switch at the bottom that you can turn on or off in order to have the TV not hear you. It works the exact same way as the Amazon Fire Omni TV, which I did a review on as well. I'm going to link that in the description section. Right next to that little on-off switch, you have your manual power button. The Hisense 65 U8N comes with a pedestal style stand. Now, this stand is very narrow. The good thing about this stand is that it can be placed in 2 different heights. You can make it high enough to hide a soundbar underneath the TV, or you can make it all the way down to give it a more sleek look, so it's closer to the pedestal stand. Let's take a look at some clips to give you an idea of how this TV performs. Here we have a scene of John Wick 3. I really like using this scene of John Wick 3 because you have the dark sky around New York, you have the lights in New York, and you have the thunder, and then it switches to a very colorful palette where we see John Wick running around. I like this to see how the TV gives us the contrast between the white shirt and the black jacket. So there's a big difference in color change and palette here, where we have the people at the agency. Here we have a scene of Batman, the Robert Pattinson movie, and I really like this clip to illustrate how the TV keeps the dark portions of the screen dark. In this scene, we have a lot of changes in light. We go from dark to light, from dark to very bright lights, and they happen very quickly. What I like about this TV is that it's able to show you all the details of everything that is happening. We can see all the details of the cowl in Batman's face. We can see the headlights coming up. And as you can see, the top bar and bottom bar on the TV never changes. It always stays dark. Even when you get to the big scene with a big explosion that happens here, where you have a really bright ball of fire happening, you never get the top or bottom of the screen to lose the blackness that is supposed to maintain. That to me is great. Now, this is a scene from Avatar 2, The Way of Water. And the reason why I wanted to use this clip is because, of course, first of all, everything is CGI. Everything that we're seeing in this scene is CGI, which is incredible. But the other thing is everything in this scene is blue, right? We have the blue water, the blue characters, they have tattoos that kind of look bluish to me. And so I wanted to see how the TV be able to give us contrast between the water, the characters, and the monster that they ride. The only color that we have here besides the blue is the green of the trees in the background, which I also wanted to see how well it does with the green, but also the colors in the wings of the thing that is flying around. And so to me, it does a really good job at making the film look like a film, and it does a really good job at contrasting all the different hues of blue that we have in this scene. Here we have a clip of the movie Gravity, and the reason why I'm using this clip, I think it should be obvious. The whole movie plays in a pretty dark place. We're in the darkness of space, and the only light that we have is, or in colors, is the Earth that we're seeing here, and then eventually it gets to the astronauts who are working on the satellite. Then we have this whole pan thing that happens with George Clooney in the background, and he goes around the whole scene while Sandra Bullock is working on the thing, and it goes from planet Earth into space. And the reason why I wanted to use this is because I wanted to see first how it handled SDR content that is in 4K. This is a regular Blu-ray, and how it keeps the darkness of space. If it's able to give me the darkness of space without blooming around subjects like George Clooney and the arm there that we just saw. And it does a really good job. As you can see there, the planet Earth comes in, it's very bright, and it keeps the darkness of space and not blooming things on screen. And finally, here I'm using regular cable TV to show you how this TV looks using low quality. It's what I'm going to call cable TV, broadcast TV. It looks really good. It looks cinematic. The lighting is well. You can see some softness in the faces compared to all the other stuff that we just saw, which kind of gives you an idea of what broadcast TV loses compared to something like a Blu-ray or 4K Blu-ray. Now, all of this gives you an idea of different types of content and how the TV does with different types of content. I was very, very impressed on how well this TV did, especially for an LED TV. And I know it's a mini LED TV, but still, I didn't think that it was going to do this good at keeping those black colors. Now, this TV can get very bright. This TV can hit up to 3000 nits of peak brightness when playing HDR or Dolby Vision content. It can get bright enough to bother your eyes, and it is weird to say because sometimes you want the image to be very bright, especially with HDR and Dolby Vision content, but too much brightness isn't necessarily great. Now, I didn't do any gaming on this TV. I wasn't able to. It's not my TV, and I didn't have my console with me when I did this test, but I will still talk about gaming. It supports all the features on the Xbox Series X. So when you go to the Xbox Series X, if you don't know, you can have it check your TV and see what it is that is compatible with. So that means that if you want to game you won't be disappointed with this TV. Let's talk about the panel and the picture. The panel was even. This is a backlit TV. It's not an edge lit TV. So you can see here how that screen looks like having this white image from the Spears and Mansell disc. Now up next we have the star field. As you can see here, it did a good job at showing the stars without giving us blooming around those stars and maintaining the screen at a pretty good black level. Let's take a quick look at some skin tones here coming again from the Spears and Mansell disc. Here we have some different skin tones so we can get a look of how this reproduces skin tones. The skin tone looks very natural to me. Here we can see the differences in colors in her skin. You can see there by her neck, she has a little bit of red marks there. Her forehead, around her eyes, you can see that it's redder on the top of her forehead and over her nose and cheeks as well. Here I will say we have a more even white skin color tone. And then what I like here is that we can see the huge difference between her arms and the rest of her skin color, because as you can see there, she has different red coloring on her arms. And then here finally we have the skin color of all the ladies, and you can see all of their skin colors look natural, very well represented. Now here we're looking at the skin color again, but this time is with HDR, and to me this TV does a better job at HDR than Dolby Vision. And the reason is because we can see here on the HDR version that the skin color is punchier. We can see more detail, for example, in this lady's skin on the red parts of her skin around her eyes, forehead. Same thing here. She doesn't look as pale, looks a little pinker compared to the Dolby Vision version of this clip. And same thing here finally with this lady and the difference in color between her arm and the rest of the color of her skin. You can see the highlights on her hair. To me, again, this TV does a lot better at HDR than Dolby Vision. And that's not to say that it doesn't do a good job at Dolby Vision. It's just the color reproduction to me is a lot better on HDR than it is on Dolby Vision. Now here we're back with the broadcast TV show. This time I have all the lights on in the room. We are in a room with 4 lights in the ceiling, those recessed lights. And then as you can see, we have a lamp on the left hand side of the room that can be seen in the screen. Now I'm going to turn off the lights on the top to show you what the TV looks like. Because so here we are with the lights off in the room. The only light on right now is the lamp. And as you can see in the darker scenes on the TV show, you can see clearly the lamp there. In scenes that are brighter, you lose that lamp there. So that's to give you an idea of how reflective this screen is in a room with a lot of light. Let's talk about the remote, because I actually liked the remote on this TV. The remote is all plastic, even though it looks like it's made out of metal. It is a texture. The remote is very thin and long, as you can see here. It's one of those skinny remotes. The other great thing about this remote is that it's backlit. If you're in a dark environment, there is a sensor in the remote that is going to recognize that and is going to immediately light up the buttons on the remote. As I said earlier, this uses Google TV, which means that you can control it with your voice. The remote has a built-in microphone where you can press a button and speak to the TV directly. The remote also has a profile key, which means that each person can switch profiles using the remote. Now let's talk sound. Sound on this TV was amazing. It was the best sounding TV that I've heard. This TV actually delivers on the promise of having a subwoofer in the back that actually works. You can actually hear the bass coming from this TV. It's not like, hey, I'm going to not use a soundbar because this has great sound. No, it's not that crazy. But for a TV that has small speakers, that is as skinny as this TV is, it does a great job in the sound department. The sound was clear, the sound was loud, and you could hear bass coming from the back of that TV. And yes, if you don't want to pay extra for a soundbar, you won't be disappointed with the sound on this TV. The picture of this TV was a lot better than I expected it to be. It is an LED TV, but it's a mini LED TV. And I had high expectations for this being a mini LED TV, seeing how it's the first mini LED TV that I reviewed. I wasn't disappointed. I'm not going to say that it's as good as OLED when it comes to the inky blacks, but the blacks are much better than any other LED TVs that I've seeing in person. When watching bright scenes, you didn't have light bleed in the corners. The colors in SDR and HDR were also great. The color reproduction on this TV was really, really good. I did have some issues with the jitter. There was a little bit of jitter when you had a very fast-paced scenes like an action movies and stuff. You could see a little bit of stuttering on the TV, and I couldn't figure out a setting that will give me the capability of smoothing out that problem. And that was a little disappointed to me because I was so happy with everything that was happening on the TV until I got to the action scenes. And no matter what smoothing I added to it, couldn't find a happy medium that wouldn't take it so much into the soap opera effect territory and that it kind of kept it in a more normal look of film. That was my biggest issue. Action scenes had a little bit of stuttering. If you don't have problems with the soap opera effect, then you adding the smoothing to these things might not be an issue for you, you know? Now, if you haven't guessed, I really liked this TV and I think it's worth the money. Right now, selling for pretty much $900, rounding up the price, is not a bad deal. The TV, as I said, has shortcomings, but to me, the shortcomings don't make it bad. So if you've been looking for a mini LED TV, 4K TV, and you're in the market for something like that, this is the TV to get. If I had to give this TV a rating, I will give it an 8 out of 10. Now, do you have a Hisense U8N? Are you enjoying the TV? Do you have any questions about the TV or anything that I might be able to answer that I didn't answer in the review? Go ahead and let me know in the comment section. That is it for me. Go ahead and subscribe, give us a thumbs up, it really helps the channel. Go ahead and hit that bell so you can be alerted every time we have new videos. And thank you very much for watching.